Cool. So what were we saying? Oh yeah, Pushing Daisies is the perfect show.
Pushing Daisies. Don't even get me.
No, we're gonna get you started.
Actually, you are gonna get me started. Here's the thing about Pushing Daisies and it dealing with secrets very, very well. And just huge spoilers if you haven't seen Pushing Daisies.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Pushing Daisies,
go out and watch it.
Stop this video right now and watch it.
You don't even have to come back to this video, you just need to go out and buy it and watch the whole thing, because your life is not complete until you've seen Pushing Daisies.
Yeah, we love this show a lot. If I need to sell it to you further, it's basically the best feel-good show of all time. It's
drama, murder, mystery, romance.
It is about a man named Ned who is a pie maker. He seems to have a pretty normal life of baking pies in this pie shop, and he has this waitress working for him named Olive, and she has a crush on him. But the twist is Ned has the ability to raise the dead. He has 60 seconds after he's raised the dead to touch it again and make it dead again, otherwise something else will drop dead spontaneously.
And so he uses this ability by working with a private investigator. So he touches murder victims, asks who killed them, touches them again.
Right now, should we say, okay, we've explained the plot, go watch it if you haven't seen it, we're gonna start spoiling things all over the place.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, you've been warned, leave now. So the big secrets on the show are obviously that Ned can raise the dead, which most of the cast except Olive knows. Everyone outside of the main cast does not know. The other secrets is Ned accidentally killed Chuck's father. The other secret is Ned does not tell Chuck that somebody else had to die for her to be alive.
Well, there's secrets that we don't even really know exactly because the show was cancelled.
So there's all kinds of secrets.
We start out with the sort of not quite as big secret of the fact that Ned is hiding the fact that someone had to die for Chuck to be alive from her. This only lasts 3 episodes. In the 3rd episode, Chuck finds out about that secret. It gets dealt with relatively quickly, which is good, because, I don't know, it would have gotten old. It's like, yeah, it would have gotten pretty old, because...
Especially because Chuck starts asking questions like, why can you only keep these people alive for a minute? Why don't you just raise everybody from the dead, and things like that.
So that worked really well. And, you know, it worked well with like the plot and everything, so
it was good.
It was good that it was dealt with.
It was also the result of Emerson, who was by far the most practical character, just being like, this is stupid, you can't keep this from her, I'm gonna tell her, and then being like, no, and Emerson being like, too bad.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit of the season is Ned trying to figure out whether or not he should tell Chuck that he killed her father.
It's sort of a little thing that, like, you can see it kind of building, because the more they spend time with each other, the more he, you know, cares about her, and the harder it is for him to be like, I have this huge secret about your life.
Yeah. Finally, he reaches, he's initially like he's just not gonna tell her, and then it's her father's birthday, and she brings it up, and at this point they've gotten super close and are in love, and Ned is just totally torn up about it. Ned has this just very great kind of realistic inability to lie. Emerson, and this is a case of Emerson being practical, where he's like, again, the opposite. Where
don't tell her!
Don't tell her. She's not, why would she think that you killed her father? She's not going to bring it up. She won't find out. It's
because in this case, it's like, well, she doesn't know that you brought your mother back.
Yeah.
So she wouldn't know that, she wouldn't be able to figure out what was happening. Whereas with, you know, with the other secret, it was easy. She's gonna figure it out, so it's best if you just tell her.
Basically, Emerson is the voice of reason, where he's like, she's gonna figure it out, just tell her.
Bless your face. So we got 8 episodes into the 1st season.
Which is 9 episodes long.
Yes. And it's her father's birthday, and he's like, so all these feelings are being brought up again, and sort of as the episode goes along, he's like, okay, you know, actually, the truth is not always a good thing, and I should just keep this.
Right.
I should just keep this to myself. And then at the very end of the episode,
he blurts it out.
He blurts it out.
Good. There's a lot of things that play into whether or not you should keep a secret on a show. And one thing is, does the audience know the secret? Another thing is, do the characters know? How many of the characters know the secret? Like, one of the most frustrating things is if all the characters know the secret and the audience doesn't. Because you can do that for a little bit, but the audience is going to get frustrated very fast with a secret like that because it feels like you're being left out, basically, and you don't want to be left out of a show you're watching. Then there's secrets that some characters know and others don't.
There's secrets that we know and the characters don't, or some characters know it and some characters don't know it. Yeah.
And a lot of factors play into when all these secrets should be revealed to the audience, to the other characters, to, you know, it's very, secret reveals are hard. I will give you that for shows. They have to be thought out. And what I think Pushing Daisies does really well is it factors in pretty much everything. How long is going to be too long for the audience? How long is going to be too long reasonably for the characters? And then the personalities of the characters. Mm-hmm. So Ned would try and protect Chuck from the "someone had to die for you" secret as long as he possibly could, because he and Chuck are both run very much on emotion. Ned likes to pretend he's not run on emotion, but he really is. And Emerson is very practical, and so it makes perfect sense that Emerson would be like, this is the stupidest thing. And it's always so refreshing when a character does what the audience thinks, because the audience is thinking, this is stupid, Ned, she's gonna figure it out. She's already figuring it out. She's asking the right questions. So then in the case of Ned killed Chuck's father, that is one, the audience knows that from the beginning. Like the pre-credit sequence of the beginning of the series. Yeah, the other thing is, how much does the secret influence the characters' interactions on a daily basis? So comparing these two secrets again, the secret of "someone had to die for Chuck," it pretty much influences every single day, because Ned is doing the same thing every single day. It's a very integrated part of his life, that these are the rules of how his life works. Because it's so present in the audience's mind, it would get frustrating for the audience that Chuck doesn't know. Whereas with the secret with Chuck's father, it doesn't play into their everyday lives, but the secret is revealed when it becomes a more prominent part of the show on her father's birthday, when she's concerned about it, when she's thinking about her dad, and therefore Ned is thinking about her dad. Ned decides just before the end of the episode that he's not going to tell Chuck, that there's no reason to, and you know, the reasons he gives could have placed at the audience for quite a while longer.
Yeah.
But
it makes perfect sense with his character, that because he's so full of emotion about this, that he would then just blurt it out. I think the thing about Pushing Daisies is that it knows there are a lot of secrets throughout the show, but it knows sort of how long it can tease each secret, and especially if there are characters who know what it is. And the other thing is that they were not afraid to let things change.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how you keep a show interesting, and that's so much more true of real life, that you learn new things about people, and life just keeps going on, and your interactions with people change because of what you know about them.
Yeah.
And especially in a show, when the audience is watching it, if it's just the same thing all the time, I mean, it could still be enjoyable, but what makes Pushing Daisies such a good show for me is the fact that it's willing to sort of, I guess, take risks and let things change and let things evolve. And a lot of that has to do with letting other people in on secrets.
Yeah. It would have been very easy for the writers to be like, oh, well, they don't change because the lead character has an aversion to change. Ned is extremely, he likes his safe space. He does not like big changes. So it's all about, instead of, using that as an excuse, the writers use that as an interesting source of conflict, because we have Ned, who is so averted to change, does this huge thing in bringing back his childhood sweetheart, who brings all this change, and she's suddenly seeing life anew because she died, and
I have this second life and I really want to do stuff with it. And
so suddenly he's faced with change constantly.
And they have a constant balance between them, with Ned being very much about, he wants to be cautious, he wants to be safe, and Chuck wanting to do really adventurous things and reckless things, and so they sort of balance each other out, and that she helps bring him out of his comfort zone a bit, and he also sort of,
keeps her from
doing anything
rash. So yeah. So what this comes into is that we had a very long discussion about Merlin.